Whew, alright. After another crappy intro. What's up, guys? How's it going? Driving in the Honda at the moment. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different. We've got a install, actually, to do. My landlord, he saw my short ram, heard it, got to listen to it. He loves how I saw, crazy and deep and what it does for the car, adding torque to the system. He likes that fact. So we went and we bought a short ram for his Honda Pilot. Now I was looking around online to see if I could find instructionals on how to install this. I mean, this is a new system altogether that we're putting into his vehicle. So that said, we are going to be kind of pioneering this category. I mean, sure, there's probably an instruction book out there, but as we all know, videos make life so much easier because you get to actually see what the heck you're doing, or will be doing in our case. So, hold on. Oh, that's a happy sound. Love that sound. I've had this thing in my car for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe. Love that sound. Alright, fangirling over. We'll be installing a short ram into a truck. Not a bad thing, not at all. With him, his Honda Pilot is heavy. It's a good 1.5 tons, so it's 3,000 plus pounds. And on top of this, he's added parts to the vehicle. So when it comes to his takeoff speed, he can't really feel it. Now, granted, his car has a lot of. It's 2003 to 2006 model. So his car has a lot of features on it, traction control, regulations in his system that'll essentially render that whole, the takeoff experience moot. So with this in mind, putting in this short ram into his car is gonna it'll help because he'll have a little bit more torque in the system, and his car's gonna breathe a lot more, and he won't lose a lot of power when he puts his foot down. One of the problems that stock Hondas from like the early thousands have is when you step on the gas, your revs kind of go up and then creep down for a ways, and then they start to creep back up again. So adding in the short ram, at least in my car, speaking from experience, put my foot down, the power goes up, I hit 2,000 RPMs, it dips for a split second and then takes off running again. So it is what it's. Come on, people, there you go. It is what it is. It will add some torque to the system, and that's what he's looking for. So that said, hopefully it'll arrive today. Today being Monday, I need it installed by the end of tonight. So my work is cut out for me. On top of this, it's raining. Not severely, but it's raining. And if anybody knows anything about cars, you don't put an open hood with an engine exposed in the rain. That's just bad mojo. That's not a good idea. Oil and water do not mix, and when water hits oil, it tends to take the oil off because it's spreading it out. So yeah, not a good idea, but we'll figure a way to keep the engine bay dry. Yes, you can put water near your engine or whatever and all of that. My point being, we're taking something off of the engine, adding something to the engine, and if water is in that line, that's not a good thing. That's a bad thing. It can damage the vehicle, damage his engine. He may have to, try and use some kind of purger, or his engine light will be on for a while. It depends on how much water gets in there. It can really vary what it does. Now, some people do water injections in their car. They think it'll burn hotter. I don't know why you'd want your engine to burn hotter. either way, yeah, we'll be installing the short ramp today. So stick around and let's cut to that scene. Hey. Alright, so got it, just arrived. UPS showed up. Grandma drank. And we're about to go start setting this thing up. Whoa. A little worried because the box is partially opened, but not completely. So hoping and praying that I don't have a bunch of junk in this thing and not the part that I ordered. So let's see. It looks like it's all here so far. We'll see. I trust the mail system, but at the same time I don't. So let's see. So that's the filter head, that's the pipe, probably a little odds and ends, yeah, stickers. Woo! Instructions, plenty of tubing, and this, yeah, that's what the end result will be. So yeah, cool. Let's get this started. Instructionally, here's what we got, and yeah, we're just gonna go through this. So the first couple steps say, you know, removing things and whatnot. So I can remove bolts securing air cleaner box, the intake pipe, stock crankcase, disconnect the idle air bypass control valve, OEM stuff. Essentially the first 4 steps of this 19-step process according to their instructions is remove things. So we're gonna do that. So far we got the valve cover thing off. That's that over there, and we got, there's a little wing piece that came off. You can see that I'm pointing to it over there. One thing to keep in mind when you take this off, this is the cover, underneath is a panel filter, you'll see that in a second. 4 bolts, 1 in each corner, and then seeing as that pipe doesn't look like it wants to come off, I'm gonna find out how to get this off and then show you guys this piece here. And then also you want a 10mm for these particular bolts, and an 8mm for those. Why they're 2 different sizes, not sure. Honda's usually consistent. And then down here there's going to be a mounting screw. I don't know if you can really see that down there, but down there, the one that's kind of sticking out, that's a 10 as well. So again, once you get to that point, start removing everything again. Alrighty, so I got the pipe work out of there. Look how much like empty space there is because of that. That's one thing I hate about stock air boxes. Although this one looks like it was supposed to be a cold air, which will be nice because I'll point the filter down. However, yeah, it just doesn't breathe very well. And there's so much of this weird back piping. I'm assuming it's their version of a resonator kit for this car. Again, we're not looking for horsepower, we're looking for torque when we do this. So yeah, getting rid of that was probably a good idea. Now let's see, that's the throttle there. What you want to do is you want to wipe the throttle, at least throttle body and the mouth of it, down to get some of that dirt and grime. And you can see clearly this is where the pipe work went and that's where it wasn't. So, you know, clean things up. Also, there is one more screw down there, you can clearly see that. Disconnect the hoses. Where's the other one? There's the other one. It's hard to see because they're all the same color. Disconnect the hoses because without them disconnected, you can't really take the thing out. But we're also going to put them back in because that pipe that's sitting in that box over there has more connections and ports on it. So yeah, let's get to it. Yeah. What I want you to do is tell me. So I love jazz music and big band and basically older music. You know, I listen to rap, I listen to rock, and for me, Christian rock and rap, for that matter. But let's go back to the subject at hand. So I've started. This is a Weapon R thing. Check that out, man. That is clean chrome. Basically, this will plug in right here. Okay, that pipe that I just tapped and the one that's down there will be probably put together because I'm noticing that particular U shape to that pipe leads kind of right back into the throttle body there. You see that little square there? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's a bit of refeed from the engine, and it comes, it looks like, from two different locations. One coming from, you probably can't see because it's so dark in there, but one coming from, let's see, there we go, brighten it up a little bit. One coming from down there, that thin one, and that one there. So yeah, it looks like all three of those pipes kind of go together, but there's two ports, so I'm gonna just make the best out of it and see what happens. Probably join two and then connect one to one of these ends. So that's it. Let's get started. We got the whole process started, and yes, you will need double clamps. This is plastic, is obvious, or vinyl, whatever you want to call it. This is obviously a separate piece. So my recommendation, they say put this on first to the throttle body and then put the pipe in. I disagree. Put the pipe in first, lock it down, then put it onto the throttle body and lock it down there. Obviously these are hose clamps, but these are really nice hose clamps, honestly. They come from Weaponar. They come with the system. So yeah, and it's shiny. You can see my hand. But anyhow, the trick to this is lining up your filter, which, by the way, the Dragon system, or weapon system, whatever you want to call this air system, it's just tough looking. I don't understand why it looks so epic, but it does. Anyhow, so this will connect to here. You will hose clamp it down, and then the trick, honestly, is angling it so that it fits right. After that, we'll work on mounting it, securing it rather, and then also we have to pop in the hose. Sorry, there's a news chopper overhead. But once you plug in the hoses here for the refeeds, that's what I call the refeed. It's this here, that metal one. You have to angle it so that it blows the air into this pipe port. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be tricky, but that's how that works. And then also there's more piping involved that'll get plugged in as well. So yeah, let's put the head back on first, wind, in case you get a lot of that. But I'm starting to fit this in. I had to loosen up down there and rotate it just a bit to get the filter head to fit in there. Thing looks tough. Now, one thing to keep in mind, that little black hole down there is actually cold air coming into the engine bay. And putting this filter in this position not only does it make it fit in here properly, but it also allows for cold air to be entering into the system. So while this is technically a short ram setup, because there's so much blocking the engine and this cold air coming directly in, it's really more of a mixed cold air intake. So that was another reason why I told the landlord this was the better buy, because out of the two systems available for his V6 VTEC engine inside of his Honda Pilot, this is the only one that actually fits. I mean, it's kind of tight. You can tell this is coming out at an angle and whatnot, and this is getting put straight in. But once that's in place, I'm not going to turn it over, because I'll be waiting on some hose clamps to tie down this hose and the little tiny gray hose. What I did on the bottom, I want to show you guys this too, because this is crucial. Let's see, where to go. Okay, see that little gray square? That's a T connector that comes with the box. What those two feeds are two sets of air coming into the same location and coming out of this end. What it is it's refeed from the engine. So if this is not properly clamped down, it's plugged into here, you'll get a lot of nasty air in your engine. While this, the filter will help clear it out, your lifespan on the filter is going to be cut dramatically, just because it's taking some direct exhaust. Why Honda has this refeed? Probably to help with the catalytic converter's job, honestly. It's not like it's bad air necessarily. It's just, it's whatever's not used in the combustion chamber gets fed through these pipes back into the air filter. So let's try to put this guy on. This guy's going to go on the bottom now. Let's see. Here we go. Hang on, I may have to switch hands here. There we go. Alright. And you just kind of wiggle it on there. Start sliding it up. Now, eventually, I'm going to have little tiny clamps come in. My landlord's picking those up. Those will clamp down directly on here, and that's going to help keep this nice pipe work from moving around and coming off The top part of it though is another story, because like I said, this particular hose goes in here, and you'll notice something. It's kind of like the same size. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to have two clamps on here. One is going to use a little bit of excess piping. Whoop, I'm on a leash. Okay. One's going to use a little bit of, there we go, excess piping to connect from here to the gray wire, or gray, I keep calling it wire, to the gray tubing. And it's going to be hose clamped here, and then obviously at some point on the tubing, just to make sure that that feed goes from back there into there and it's all secure. But once that's on there and I secure this on officially, it's going to basically be done. And then we'll turn it over just to double check the system, listen to it, get a feel for it. The cool part is this is the throttle right here. That whole thing I'm wiggling is locked in place because the engine's not on. But that there is what allows for air to go into the system. That's what in turn turns the system over, gives it some torque and power, and the thing moves forward. But we'll test run it, and then we'll eventually fix it, probably from right here or so to somewhere on the body. It really just depends on what we can find. So we'll get that tubing on and clamp things down. One thing I wanted to point out as I started fixing these on here, these hose clamps, always keep these level. As you can tell, that is not level whatsoever with the lips, so I'm gonna have to redo that clamp. But this one is a lot more level. It's secured on there so the filter's not gonna pop off. I'm a little worried about this style of filter head though. It's nerve-wracking. Anyhow, I'm gonna take this guy, loosen it back up, and kind of re-secure him on there and go from there. All right, real quick before my landlord gets here. So this is all bolted down, everything's kind of in place. Again, I'm going to clamp this down and then kind of try and bend it at an angle so that it stays kind of out of the way. So that way when they go to, you know, change out fluids, they can change out fluids in that spot. I believe that's brake fluid actually. I can't read all that. So anyway, put the little logo on there. It looks nice and clean and fresh. Actually, I turned the engine over and it sounds amazing. In fact, let me just turn it over again. Bet y'all get a listen to it. Couldn't do it much just because the ECU on this system is very aware of what you're doing. Unlike the one in my Honda. Well, this is a Honda, but unlike the one in my Civic. So anyways, once my landlord gets here, we'll put some clamps on and he'll take it for a spin. We'll give it a listen, see what's going on in here, and then complete the process of bolting it down and really establishing the Weapon R system, this one being the Dragon pipe. So yeah. What'd you guys think? Hope y'all enjoyed. We did take it for a test drive, ran perfectly. My landlord loves it. He was the guy in the last segment who was like, oh, I'm worried about the thing moving around thing. So yeah, he took it for a drive. I think he's still driving it right now, it being the next day. By the time we were done kind of tinkering with it and making sure that it was at a perfect angle and secured in place, it was like probably 10:30 because we went and did a 30-minute diagnostic test run. And when I said that the thing was breathing in cold air, we confirmed that it is actually functioning as a cold air intake, because we got back from running the thing hard and that pipe was bone cold. I mean, there was no heat whatsoever in the pipe itself. So it ran like a champion, and he notices a major difference in the way that it performs now. So yeah, I'm kind of excited for him. Glad that he decided to move forward with it. It was fun. I mean, it took me all day to put on, you know, figuring things out for the first time and whatnot, you know, because apparently this is like the first YouTube video that actually shows you the process of taking things out and putting things on a Honda Pilot. Apparently there's a little bit of like a Piloteer community, people that are fans of the Honda Pilot. I didn't even know about this. My landlord was telling me about this. So this is for you guys. Hopefully, you guys can get a better performance out of your Honda Pilots. I mean, this video is specifically for models from 03, 02, 03 to 2006. So when you do this, that's the year that it's for. Will it work on a newer system? Maybe, maybe not. I don't honestly know. I know that, you know, further you get to today, uh, there's more stuff out there because the modded car scene kind of went from here in the late 90s to nothing to back in popularity again. So it's, yeah, kind of this weird thing. I don't know how to explain it. The timeline is just kind of funny. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope it's helpful, insightful, and gives you a good visual of kind of how this whole process goes. When it comes to mounting the pipe, that we didn't film this part just because I don't want to film at 7 or 8 at night. But when it comes to actually putting the pipe in place, at least on his car, he has an 03, so he has like the first edition, if you will, of the Honda Pilot for that year. When you put it in there, the mounting bracket that it comes with, doesn't necessarily fit per se. I mean, if you come up with a solution, leave a comment below. Let me know. That way, if need be, we can try it in ours. But yeah, we kind of went to Home Depot and built our own using, I can't remember what he called it, but it kind of looks like a roll of tape with just different size holes in it as you go along. And we just screwed them together and kind of use it like a lasso, so it's attached to the battery mount in this one. It isn't going anywhere. It's very solid, and we'll double check it when it gets back, hopefully today, and just to see how it's feeling, how it's looking. Is it moving? Is it staying where it's at? Is it locked in and tight? This type of pipe, there's a lot of diagnostic that goes involved. I mean, even with my car, my Honda Civic, when I put the short ram on, we really had to gauge, like, all right, is this in a good position? Is this really locked in place right? Are things moving around, or are things pretty solid, So it's just a process of putting them on. It's fun, it's long, it's tedious, but in the end, you'll be happy with the results that you get. So anyhow, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Hope this has been helpful, and yeah, see y'all later.